the unexplained files. The following footage is not tampered with, and all of the events and reactions are unplanned and genuine.
Have you ever been absolutely certain about something, only to discover that the truth is completely different? That, in essence, is the Mandela Effect.
The strange but weirdly common occurrence where a large group of people believed that things, places, times and names from history happened differently or exist differently to how they do. These people all believe that they are different but in the same way. First spoken about in 2009 by one Fiona Broome, the most well-known occurrence of the Mandela Effect, and in fact the one in which it is named after, is the belief that Nelson Mandela died in the 1980s. He certainly did not.
There are several examples of the Mandela Effect. Maybe you remember the scene in Star Wars where Darth Vader says to Luke, "Luke, I am your father." And in fact, you'd be mistaken, because he actually says, "No, I am your father."
If you were born any time between the late 90s and early 2000s, then you probably recognise these faces. A children's cartoon that first appeared on our screens in 2002 after being adapted from the children's book that go by the same name. But what is that name? In fact, if you know who these characters are and the story they belong to, leave the name of that in the comments below. I'll wait. If you guessed that these characters and their story are known as the Berenstain Bears, then you, along with a great many others, are absolutely incorrect. Your childhood memories are a lie. It was always the Berenstain Bears. We knew it was. They were lying to us. This is a parallel universe and nobody knows what's going on. Was it always this way? Did it change? Nobody knows. It turns out that these lovable creatures and the stories that they come from are and have always been known as the Berenstain Bears. Despite our fond memories of these cuddly creatures being read their stories or perhaps seeing their cartoon on the TV, we seem to have a really tough time remembering their name.
Or how about in the film Jaws, where Chief Brody sees the shark and then suddenly says, "We're gonna need a bigger boat." Because again, you'd be mistaken. He actually says, "You're gonna need a bigger boat." But why do so many people recall these differences? Some believe this could be a glimpse into a parallel universe, or could it be a glitch in a simulated reality, where slight differences in events create different memories?
The internet was unanimously stunned when the Mandela Effect was once again being spoken about by people, and it was noted that the Berenstain Bears, as many remember them, myself included, were never in fact Berenstain, but were Berenstain Bears. If you've ever been forced to go to a family function and spend time with people that you didn't want to be around without the internet, then there's a very high chance that a game of Monopoly was pulled out of a dusty cupboard. You wanted nothing more than to sit in the corner on your phone, swiping away, enjoying some fantastic content, such as the Unexplained Files. Subscribe, by the way. When against your will you were dragged to play a game with the very people you feel like you are being held hostage with. Everyone knows the familiar symbol with a man with a top hat, a bag of money under his arm, a lovely moustache, and a monocle? For some reason, a vast amount of people remember the Monopoly man with a monocle. It seems impossible to see him without it, but he never had one. In fact, the original Monopoly man does and always has looked like this. No monocle in sight. A swanky man nonetheless, but no vision problems here. Amongst the many times that the Mandela Effect has been spoken about across the internet, many theories have arisen as to where it comes from. A more grounded and scientific look at it could be that perhaps we're misremembering very little details or crossing memories from our childhood to create these distorted and different views of what things really were. But if that is the case, how are so many of us coming to the same mistakes? How are so many of us crossing over the same images to come up with these things that never existed, yet we're also certain that they did? From the tiniest of spellings or the misremembering of a famous line in a movie, to the lack of a monocle on the Monopoly man's face. How are we all coming to the same place, misremembering? It's been claimed that perhaps there's more behind the Mandela Effect. Perhaps this is the switching into a parallel universe, the theory that every decision made splits events and timelines in existence, creating a parallel universe, one in which you went left and one in which you went right. And perhaps some people are just remembering the way that it was for them, or the way that I guess it still would be, were they in the same place they came from. I encourage you, go to Google, type in the Mandela Effect, and I'm sure you'll be blown away by some of the examples of things that even you yourself will have misremembered. Maybe the human mind is just so easy to trick, we've all fallen for the same trap one too many times. Or perhaps this is a parallel universe, but no matter what universe you are in, we are happy that you have joined us for yet another episode of The Unexplained Files, the greatest place for paranormal content in the United Kingdom. If you have enjoyed this evening's video, then we would love to see you again, and we would love your feedback on the Mandela Effect. Have you found any specific incidences of the Mandela Effect, things that you misremember, or perhaps parallel universes you have sprouted from? Let us know in the comments below, and if there's anything you would love us to cover in this Our Case Files series, please leave a comment below and we'll take a look at that for you. With all of that said, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your evening, and I'm going to go and find the Monopoly Man's monocle because I am still not convinced that he does not have it. Nonetheless, thank you for watching. There's an iCard up there where you can check out all of the rest of our content. If you love this creative stuff we do, feel free to check out that Case Files playlist. If you want to see us hunt some ghosts and go on paranormal investigations, there's a playlist up there for you also. If you want to see us react to some ludicrous things to do with the paranormal across the internet, there is also a playlist for you. And with all that said, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Peace.
Thank you.